For it is written, the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with her blood. And I saw her sit upon the hairy beast, and she held forth a golden chalice, full of the filthiness of her fornications. And upon her forehead was written, Behold, I am the great mother of harlots, and all abominations of the earth. I wonder if she's got an OnlyFans.
She asked me what my pronouns are. She asked me about my name. She made me feel super comfortable, asked me about my trauma history so that she knew how to touch me in ways that were not harmful.
Hear that trumpet? That's a sad trumpet. Or whatever instrument that is. Maybe that's a French horn. You get the point, okay? Larry Wheels made a video and he's got the kid. He's got the fucking sumo zoomer. So, anyways, Larry Wheels was doing sumo deadlifts. Okay? What's next? What's he gonna do? Make an OnlyFans?
The age of the influencer is over. The time of the buck has come.
Okay, there we go. I thought my video was lacking a little bit. So, the other day, my brother and I were watching Howling 2 with Christopher Lee and Red Brown. And that was a homage to Christopher Lee's opening monologue. Well, I suppose it was a direct rip-off, although I didn't have myself in the frame. But I did have the gliding through space background and the synthesizers in the background. Mine was a little more busier than theirs, but not too much. Anyways, chin-ups. Wearing my raggedy ass shirt, and it's still good. But, the holes aren't that big. If I'll wear a shirt outside as long as it's not ripped in the spots where my nipples are going to be showing, because that's a little too much. That's where I draw the line. Oh, here we go again. I got this stupid thing up in the background. It's got the tiny-headed orc. So, I'm getting freaking huge, and I do a blood pressure check later in the video. My blood pressure's kind of high. I'm not really too worried about it. This guy told me that Daniel Bell, during his world record prep, I don't know, it might have been the last one that he did. His like normal blood pressure was 220 over 110, and so basically, mine's like nothing compared to that. And so he's still walking around, right? Yeah. So I'm only going to be big for another month and a bit, and so hopefully, I don't think my kidneys are going to fail before then. And so, anyways, but, and another thing, a guy said my blood pressure might be higher because I didn't titrate up my test dosage in like an even fashion. Because I went from low, basically, well, low for me, or low compared to what I'm taking now, to 4 grams, right? So, I was doing like 1 gram a week, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, and now I'm doing 4 grams a week. These squats are feeling pretty good. I had to bust out the metal collars because I really didn't want. That'll really mess my stuff up if those plastic ones, they don't hold too tight. And so I don't want my plates falling off in the middle of my set. Jeez, imagine you're like 15 reps in and a plate falls off. Then you got to do another fucking. Then you got to do it. Then you got to do it again. but 20 reps in 15 minutes. Oh, I remember one time I did my 20 reps, and I'm like, oh man, that was easy. Sat down on a bench after I was done, and it's like, oh shit, that was only 335. I was supposed to do 385. So I waited about 10-15 minutes, and then I did the 385. I was warmed up. Boy. When I did squats and RDLs on Tuesday, holy shit, I was fucking beat. Man, well, once it starts getting heavy or heavier in like the later weights, further into the progression, it really takes a lot out of you. It's although it doesn't really have the same sort of stress on your body that lifting like three heavy sets of 5 does. It fatigues you in a different way, I suppose, because you get, first of all, you get a crazy pump, especially in the lower back, and then my lungs got a pump. If that's a thing, I don't know. I felt like they got a pump. This fucking hairdo makes my head look misshapen. Which it probably is, definitely is, but it's not like this. It looks like a freaking spacecraft from, like a freaking, I don't know, a shuttlecraft from Deep Space Nine or something. This guy told me I should shave my head. No, my head's too screwed up to shave. And he's like, oh, I thought, he says he started taking tests and then he's getting the Terry Crews head wrinkles. I don't know what causes that. That's like a badge of honor if you're a football player, though. All right. I just did my squats, and now I'm going to comment on some of my comments, and then talk about my lift. How did the lift go? And it went pretty good. 455 for 20 reps. Pretty easy. There was some upper back rounding on the 19th and 20th, but I'm not really worried about that. There's still, for everything else, there's plenty left in the tank. It's just the upper back. And so I'm going to do my last peak. Today is August 29th. My peak day will be October 5th or 6th. So by then the test should be really working. And my head should be really wide. I don't know how strong I am. I'll be proportionally strong. My strength will be proportional with my head breadth. My head breadth. Oh. Yeah. Deep Space Nine. This guy said his wife was pregnant and she couldn't sit down. And so, or when she was pregnant, and because without pain. I don't know anything about pregnancy, but that would suck. So, but lying down was okay, so they'd watch Deep Space Nine in bed. And Deep Space Nine is probably the best Star Trek show. Although some of the characters get pretty annoying, like Kira, who's kind of the character that every modern feminist thinks they are. And who else is annoying? I think it's just her that annoyed me. I don't really like the Doctor that much. Julian Bashir. I remember when I first watched it, I skipped right to season 4. Because that's when Worf shows up. Because Worf's he's a bad dude. Okay. And you've got Jadzia Dax, who's played by, I think her name's Terry Farrell, who's a terrible actress. But hot. So that makes up for it. My dad would watch Voyager. Voyager's the worst one. Although maybe the newer ones were the one with what the hell's the game? Scott Bakula. Maybe that one's worse. I never even watched it. But Voyager, of the 3 big ones, is probably the worst. My dad just likes 7 of 9. Jadzia Dax is harder than 7 of 9. Although, well, I don't know. Maybe it's a taste thing. I like women with dark hair. Okay. But anyways, and she's not like fucking scary robot woman. It's like, okay. Well, I mean, Terry Farrell's acting's pretty robotic and basic bitch, but whatever. I don't. Anyways, I got my comment. to comment on. This guy said my song yesterday sounds like Pantera. Maybe the pinch harmonics, all the pinch harmonics that I was doing, but that's not really a Pantera riff. And I got to do a version of that song where I'm going to be singing or screaming, but like melodic screaming, not really. I'm not really going to do a melody, but it won't be like a yeah. It probably won't be that. It'll be actual yelling. This guy says he loves pickles. Does that even count as a Freudian slip? Because that seems pretty. That doesn't seem like there's any sort of hidden. There's any sort of innuendo to that. But this guy loves pickles. He says. And this guy asked me if he can join the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, you got to put you got to message me on Instagram. Okay. And it's not a Buck Tow Truck video unless if there isn't a fat people rant, a metal rant, and a mention of Devin Townsend somehow. I don't know if I touched on fat people or Devin Townsend yesterday, but that's pretty much true. I'm just saying what everyone else is thinking. Maybe I go a little far sometimes, but yeah. Anyways, this guy says every single shirt's torn as shit. It's only a coincidence that I was wearing this one when I said, because I was working on this. But Hulk vibes. Yeah. How long do you rest between sets? It depends on what exercise I'm doing. If it's probably like 7 to 10 minutes. Unless if early in the progression, then it's like 4 minutes or 5 minutes. But for my chin-ups, it's like probably 4 to 5 minutes. Because it's fucking chin-ups. Subway is manja cake food. I think this guy means mungie cake food. And one of my brother's coworkers told him what that means. And a mungie cake is someone that has of European descent that's like a first generation in Canada or America. So their parents are from Portugal or wherever, or Italy or France or something. Although those people aren't allowed into the country anymore. We don't want those people anymore. Yeah. But that's not that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying we. I'm not saying by we I don't mean me. Okay, because I like more Europeans. I like Europeans. I like everybody actually. Everybody's really good. Everybody's really good. Anyways, this guy says, but anyways, it's like someone who's the parents are from like Italy or whatever. But they have like, some sort of experience with European culture and European food, but they decide to eat things like Subway. So he says that's what he said. Subway is mungie cake food. He wrote manja cake food, which means eat cake food. Eat cake food. Billy Talent, yes, Billy Talent. I remember back in, I think grade 8, his song was called, this is like 2005, 2006, River Below. Maybe it was grade 7. Yeah, but that sings terrible, music's terrible. Dude, you doing squats with those cowboy boots is always hilarious. I don't do those to try and be funny. Those are my squat shoes. And they're for overhead press too, and they're stylish. I thought this one was really funny. 9 minutes is when I start playing my generic breakdown riff, and this guy says 9 minutes. I was just waiting for someone to start spin kicking in a flat brim wearer in a 3X Penguins jersey to start screaming. My cardio's gotten way better. Because when I was between my 19th and 20th rep today, when I was doing my squats with 455, I was breathing and it felt relaxed, and I could catch my breath. I'm gonna have to, when I go for my thing, I'm gonna have to take more of a break because I need I don't know how it's gonna work exactly, but I need to take longer breaks in between those last few reps so that my upper back regains some stamina. Because that's the only thing that's holding me back now. This guy says, I've tried poutine only once while in downtown Montreal. I assume it's more of a French-Canadian thing and was not impressed. Well, it's popular all over Canada now because it is pretty tasty. But yeah, that's probably the place that you'd want to have it, because I assume that would be the best poutine there is around. Unless you just picked the wrong restaurant, that seems like if you go to Naples and you find like a bad pizza restaurant, or you go to like Brooklyn and you find a bad pizza restaurant, although there probably is. I mean, there's chain restaurants and there's chain pizza restaurants, but if you were gonna get good poutine, that would be the place. And I guess poutine just isn't your thing. Poutine is so fucking unhealthy. Because potatoes are good for you until they're deep fried, and then you have the gravy, who the hell even knows what kind of gravy this place was using, or because I think most people just use it out of a mix, which is just like some, it's just like goy slop mix. And then there's cheese curds. And so the cheese curds are healthy, assuming it's real cheese and not soy protein, soylent cheese, soylent yellow. But yeah, it's a real, that's our one thing that we do more American than Americans, although that's, it's a French Canadian thing, but they gotta step up their game. You gotta come up with something more, like there's deep fried Mars bars and shit like that, but that's just like cartoonishly unhealthy. Is it a competitive thing? No, Chad likes to go to Good Life because the Chad doesn't work out in the garage because he likes to go to Good Life because he gets to socialize. But for me, I'm gonna go to Good Life for my peak. And some of my customers, I told them what I'm going to do, and then they're like, I want to be there for that. So my customers are going to be there. My customer's been a member for so long, although he hasn't gone in over 10 years. He's been there for so long that his membership, I think, costs him it's either $6 a month or $8 a month. So that's because the price that you lock in at, which would have been like for him, I don't know, in the 90s, the price you lock in at is the price that you keep until the modern time. Because I have another guy that I know who got a membership back in the 90s, and he put a bunch of money down early on. He pays $8 a month. Hope you are still considering doing an OnlyFans. I just might. Okay, and it'll be just a foot fetish OnlyFans because my feet are actually those are the moneymaker. I think I got some serious 0.01% top OnlyFans creator potential with my feet. This dude likes it heavy. Heavy weights, heavy metal, heavy cream. I don't know. I think it was okay until he said heavy cream. Because then he's insinuating that I might be a bit of a fanook. Okay? This is another funny comment. The guy says, drop to F on a 7 string. This is the tab. 0000. You'd have to be a guitarist to know that that's funny. Apparently Sam Hyde used to have a lifting YouTube channel, which just seems crazy because he never really lifted heavy. Buccarino is the big bambino. That means I'm the big baby, if I remember correctly. A baby or young child? Well, I suppose I'm a little immature. That riff was almost as heavy as the weights you're lifting. That's my friend. He's commenting for the algorithm, I hope, because my friend's like, you should hide him from the channel for writing that. Ever gonna return to doing heavy sets of 5 on squats? I don't know if I will, but I would be after my cycle. And because then the thing about that is that I can go back to doing squats just twice a week. But when doing 20 rep squats, the workout only takes me like 20 minutes. And 3 days a week, and then I also get a little bit more cardio in, because I'm not going to do real cardio. Screw that. I already do enough walking. I mean, walking doesn't really give you too much cardio, but it atrophies your leg muscles enough. Okay, and so see if I got any spicy comments. Yeah. There's this Johnny Candido. I've seen a couple videos where he's like, how many can I do 20 reps with 405? And he does 19. And he's like, I think 20 reps is definitely in the tank. Why didn't you do 20? You know how to fucking dump the bar. I think this was during the lockdown, so I think he was doing it in his driveway. But come on, dude. Just do the fucking 1 extra rep. And he did a thing recently. It's like going for like max total reps with 500. And he does 12, and he racks it, and then he's all excited on his 12th rep. He's like screaming as he comes up, and then he re-racks it, and he says that he had 13, or he had an extra 1 to 2 reps in the tank, which he did, and he was in a rack with the pins and shit. Why didn't you just do the extra 2 reps? It doesn't count. Like this whole RPE thing, it doesn't count unless you do the fucking extra reps. Your rep potential doesn't fucking matter. You have to do the extra fucking rep. Jeez. Oh, yes. Anyways, I ordered my injured knee sleeves, and so those are $150 US. Hopefully they fucking ship them out soon, because I don't want it to be like my one cycle that I did. My 801 for 2 reps. I ordered some test suspension, and I didn't get it until after my peak, because I couldn't extend the cycle anymore because I was already using some. I ran into Tren. I didn't want to take more Tren. I didn't want to be on anymore. Because I was taking over a gram of Tren. I wasn't feeling good, and my stamina was so bad. So I ended up just taking more Anadrol because I didn't have my test suspension. So I took 21 Anadrols, and I was on like almost 2 grams a test. I was doing like 200 milligrams because I titrated the dose up. I was doing like 150 milligrams of Tren per day, and then I brought it all up to 200 milligrams of Tren per day. And the night before my big deadlift, that was when I shot the last of my Tren. So that's when I had to get it, because I was using Tren acetate, and I suppose it would have still been in my system on like 2 days later, but I didn't want to be on anymore. And another thing, I can't use definitely can't use Tren anymore, because Benadryl's apparently so fucking bad for your brain. Forget about it, because Benadryl was kind of like a cheat code for helping with sleep when you're on Trenbolone. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. And because apparently Tren causes dementia, and Benadryl causes that, and so you're getting like a 1-2 punch on your brain with those things. I don't know if I think that the Tren, I don't know if it's the lack of sleep that makes the Tren cause, or it's kind of like a sort of side effect, the lack of sleep that damages your brain on the Tren, or if the Tren itself damages your brain. Probably because it's, like androgenic signaling, adrenaline signaling. It's probably too much for you. Okay, ins or knee sleeves. These motherfuckers better ship. I better get this, otherwise I'll just get a different fucking pair, because I need my knee sleeves. And so I ordered XXL, so that's a 16.5 to 18-inch knee. And so you have to measure around your kneecap when your leg's straight. And so I have a 17-inch knee. And then I measure my thigh. That was after my workout yesterday, or 2 days ago. 2 days ago. And I had with a pump, I had a 27-inch. I probably could have had a bigger pump than that, but how much of a bigger pump are you going to get other than doing 20 rep squats? You could do like leg extensions to give you a bigger pump, but I don't have a leg extension machine, and I don't really want to. I'm not going to fucking waste my time with leg extensions, but a 27-inch thigh. Chad, when he was Chad 250, when he got up to 260, okay, but he got up to 260, but for most of that I don't know, balloon bulk that he had, his water balloon bulk, he was around 250, and then right at the end he got to 260, and then he had to dial it back because he felt like his skin was going to explode because he was holding so much water. And anyways, he had 28.5-inch thighs when he was in Chad 250 mode, okay, which is just fucking crazy. And so yeah, so how big are your thighs? 28.5. I mean, there's lots of like fat women, then that's below average for a fat woman. I saw some lady on TikTok, some shameless fatty. The guy was talking about how I got around with fatties. Some shameless fatty. She probably had 50-inch thighs, and she was doing some moonwalking down the grocery aisle. And then she turned, because she turned to see if someone was behind her after she was like 10 or 20 steps into it. It's like, if there was a little kid there, holy shit, rest in peace, okay? But thankfully there wasn't, because man, imagine that fucking lady falling on you with 50-inch thighs. She was probably at least 330. Man. You know how much that lady could probably squat? No, that was my Ripperto brain thinking right there. You know how much the lady could probably squat? Yeah, probably a lot, okay? 50-inch thighs. So, anyway, that's it for now. I didn't want to show my shrinking pecs. Gotta turn this down a little bit. Let's get some better background music. Here we go. The majesty of the night out of this. I'm gonna do a live blood pressure reading, okay? Say you gotta have your arms straight. The frickin' triage nurse, when I went to the hospital back in the wintertime, I made the mistake of going to the hospital back in the wintertime. She didn't even make me take my shirt off, okay? She probably wanted to. Dirty woman. Can't believe it. But I'm not a piece of meat to be oogled after. Oogled at. There we go. That's a PR. I think I threw it off a little bit with the noises I was making. 92 beats per minute. That's because I was a little nervous because it was about to explode, blow my arm off, okay? This is probably meant for an average person's arm, so... And I had a hell of a fucking... I had some freaky vascularity in my forearm from that. 157 over 89, 92 beats per minute. That's not too bad. I'm not worried about that. If I took it 3 times, it would probably be down into the 140s, okay? Cut me some slack. I just got out of the shower, too. So my body's still all hot. Okay? There are people on the internet. Well, there's lots of people. You think of like Vegan Gains. Some guy, Grave Strong, told me that he was glad when Mountain Dog. What the hell's his name? I think his name's Mountain Dog. That bodybuilder died like 3 years ago, I think. He was glad when that guy died, and that apparently he wanted that guy's. Well, I don't know. I might not be remembering it correctly, but anyways, that's not very nice. You just don't like him because he eats meat or because he uses steroids. Because I don't think that guy had some sort of that guy's probably healthier than me, but I think it was just some sort of genetic issue. Like you know, Hellraiser. So, anyways, feeling pretty good. That didn't seem like that wasn't very good news there, but what's your blood pressure, little fella? Little fella. Anyways, I gotta do my deadlifts tomorrow. Here we go. The whole thing threw me off. I was getting my freaking arm squeezed so fucking tight that I lost what the hell I was gonna talk about, but now I remembered it. Back in high school, this, by the way, is the shittiest fucking milk you can get in Canada. Okay? Anyways, I got it at No Frills, which is the cheapest, the poor person store, because there's no frills. Well, it's not really. It's the best place to go to if you want to save money, but you know, it's not all that fancy. It looks like a warehouse. It's basically, it's like, it's still more expensive than Costco. But I'm not going to go to Costco because I have to drive a town over and I don't get groceries like that. I go to the grocery store every day because I never know what I'm going to... Some days I might want... although I pretty much know what I'm going to eat. Because I pretty much... My whole diet is... Or 80% of my diet's dairy. But I just go every day. Okay? Because... I remember back when the Fairlifes, back when I was drinking like 3 or 4. I remember I was drinking like 4 of those a day for a while, and I didn't want to be the douchebag that buys like 12 of them and have those in my cart because you got to be a little courteous. Other people might want those, and eventually it got to the point until they raised the price. Now they're $7 each and $6.50 at No Frills, which is still expensive because I used to get them for $4.50, and if they're on sale, I can get them for $4 each. This is Canadian, by the way, and. But yeah, so for a while they were all sold. They were sold out for. So that was a little annoying. So I had to get 2%. And 2% Fairlife sucks. Only the red ones are good, and the chocolate ones are good. But some people get bothered by the chocolate ones because it has, because they have the artificial sweetener in them. I think sucralose, and so it's not really a good idea to drink that because those kind of mess with your stomach, anyways. Like when I had a liter of Coke Zero, my stomach was not feeling good. Well, that plus the acidity, I suppose. But back in high school, I used to drink a 500 milliliters of this. This is a 2-liter one. I used to drink a 500 milliliter of those every lunch. And when I was in grade 9, I would get a chicken burger, which is a deep fried chicken cutlet, breaded cutlet, like kind of like a chicken schnitzel on a bun, plain, because that's how you eat everything. That's me. I'm the most boring human being of all time. When it comes to food, but for everything else, I'm the coolest person ever. Yeah, sure. And then so I get the chocolate milk and I had the chicken burger. Then eventually I just get the chocolate milk, and then later on, what the hell did I eat when I was in grade 11? I eat like a granola bar, or sometimes I wouldn't eat at high school. I would just eat a shitty breakfast, and then I'd come home and then eat like granola bars. This is back in the days. This is in the 2000s when people think granola bars are healthy, but granola bars are so fucking unhealthy. They have no protein and they're pretty much all sugar. And so, anyways, wasn't all that healthy in high school. Well, until I was in grade 12. Except I said back then, I believed that saturated fat was bad for you, and then that was also the whole grain sort of craze, or whole grains are healthy. Well, I mean, they're better than Wonder Bread, I suppose. But getting older, you get fucking nose hair, you get ear hair. I got hair sticking out of my ears. I got hairs that stick out of my nose, so I got to trim them with scissors. If you ever try and pull a nose hair out, that fucking hurts. Okay, what the fuck is in my face? So, 300 pounds. I think I got like 20 something pounds to go. I don't think it's going to be an issue because it's no orals, no more cardarine because it messed with my stomach and it was a stimulant, so it fucked up my sleep. You know, it says that it was a fat burner, but I didn't clue in that you really can't have a fat burner without being a stimulant or taking DNP. But DNP, the mitochondrial uncoupler, will make you into a fucking furnace. And so I wouldn't sleep on that either. And why the hell would I take that in the first place? Apparently, it's an explosive because you can set it on fire. So, yeah, I didn't clue in because some guy in the Discord is basically like, duh. When I said that it gave me insomnia, he's like, duh, which is, fair. And so I cut it out. My stamina, I've got good enough stamina now. I just had to be off. I just had to do my 20 reps. Basically, I have my last trend shot was about 2 months ago. And so 2 months off trend, and I'm pretty much back to a good stamina level that's satisfactory for what I needed to do. Right. So, really, the eating, what else? The guy asked me, I said I was eating about 7,000 calories a day. And some guy's like, holy shit, how many man cakes is that? Well, just one. I only have one a day. Sometimes I do have two, but it's not very enjoyable to have a second one. Unless I have them like for breakfast and at the end of the day. Because, that would be... Well, it depends on how far into the, how many calories I've had, because I have to force feed a bit. Man cake, I drink, I don't know, I've had 6 liters of milk so far today. Actually, I've had about 7 liters of milk so far. And, I still have to eat about another 2,500 calories. And so I'm going to make some bacon, some pasta, and, I've got my eyes are kind of red, and I'm not fucking high, but I don't know what the problem is. I feel good, I'm sleeping good, I have a good appetite, but my eyes are a little red. I do take niacin every day, and niacin, the flush will make you do that, but I figured that would have passed by now. So, we'll see. Someone in the comments will tell me, hopefully they're not telling me that I'm dying. Well, everyone's dying, so therefore I'll just keep on doing what I'm doing. Be like that. When one customer, I was telling him they should start lifting weights. He's like, oh yeah, well, he's basically like, he uses that excuse. It's like, oh well, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die eventually anyway. So what's the point? Because he has a heart murmur, and apparently that'll inevitably cause a brain tumor. That's what his doctor told him. And so he's basically like, what's the point? I'm still going to get a brain tumor. That's how I think a lot of people live their lives. It's like, oh, you got to die from something. So I'm going to die from atrophy. Yeah, I'm going to die from hyperglycemia. Is that a thing? Probably. When you become, when your blood turns into like, your arteries are like a pixie stick. Yeah. That'd be a hell of a thing.